Hey guys, how's it going? So this week has been knuckin' futz. Very busy with work and other non-eBay things. It is Wednesday evening, April 14th. If you are new here, my name is Brennan. I am a part-time reseller. And I've got 9 things so far that need to be packed up today for that I'm going to have shipped out tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some of those things here real quick. As you can see, I did add another table over here to the space because I just had a lot of stuff from this past weekend, and I still haven't gotten through it all. So need to get through the rest of this stuff and get it listed. I've got a lot listed and a lot of it's sold already, but a lot more stuff to get together here. It's a good problem to have. One thing I forgot to mention, I think, in the last video was I bought these King Louis jackets. You probably saw me pick them up, but I forgot to talk about them in that video. For whatever reason, whatever the King Louis seems to do pretty well. Now, I don't know if it's the fact that it's King Louis or if it's what is, the label that does it. But these seem to do pretty well, and these were only $1 a piece, so I went ahead and took a shot on those. Well, anyway, so got those, and also my neighbor gave me a couple items that they were just going to get rid of here. This is, it says it's a Beatles hoodie. Looks like there's just Ringo on this guy. It is very psychedelic, and there looks to be a little bit of a stain here, right there on the front. But I think someone might still want it. Maybe, I don't know. You guys let me know. And then they also gave me this really awesome Pink Floyd shirt. Looks like it's just got a picture of all of their albums. Momentary Lapse of Reason. Oh, Umaguma, I think. Dark Side of the Moon. Animals. Or is that Animals? Division Bell. Final Cut. Wish You Were Here. Really, really cool shirt. Looks like this one is from 2009. Yeah, so this one's really cool. I haven't looked this one up yet to see, but when they said they had some old, band t-shirts, I said, yeah, if you're going to get rid of them, just go ahead and give them to me. Thank you very much. All right, so let's go ahead and go over what's sold here real quick. So we've got some, all right, let's see here. So we've got another set of chess magazines. This was the 1992 set. I believe this sold for $14. And we've got the Catalan. I am not very familiar with this opening. I know it's an opening, but I'm not familiar with it. That one sold for $5. I think I've got like 10 or 15 more of that book sitting around. So I am wheeling and dealing on that guy. The Harman Kardon, the Sound 6. This one sold pretty quickly. This sold for $45. Took an offer of $45. The Jim Morrison that I bought for $25. This one sold for, I think it sold for $10. Which for me, I mean, if I can turn $25 into $10, super easy ship, I'm good with that. Here's from my coworker. This is one of the February Angels, or one of the Art Angels, and I believe this one sold for $15, I think. And again, I would not typically look for this type of thing. Sold for $14, sorry. I would not typically look for this type of thing. And generally, if I see them now cheap enough, I probably will. If they're $1 or so. I will say they are not for the faint of heart when it comes to shipping. They're small, but they are delicate, so you've got to take some pretty decent care with shipping things like that. So just keep that in mind if you stumble across things like that. So in here, I'm not going to open this now, but this was the underwater camera. So I started this auction at $280, and it ended at $280. Damn. So not as great as it could or should have been had I priced it a bit higher, but this was a pretty quick $100. So I'm not really going to complain about that. It sold quick. It's out the door. So making some room for some other things. In the future, I would probably recommend doing this more on a buy it now as opposed to the auction. What I was seeing from the auctions, it seemed like that was the way to go. It did not work out. Did not work out that way this time. But if you start your auction high enough that you're okay with the bottom, with only getting the one bid, then you're good to go. And I was good with 280 because that's, like I said, that's $100. So I'm good there. Here we've got the Stearman PT17. This was the Revel plastic kit. The pieces are all sealed on the inside, and I believe, so this one sold for 18. Also from that same sale, this realistic weather radio. This guy sold for, and no, I'm not reading off my phone what the prices are. I've memorized all of these prices. This sold for 15. And then we've got the this George No Show Jones hat. I just listed this one last night. It sold almost instantly, and this one sold for and this one sold for 16. And someone did ask how I ship hats. In all honesty, I don't have the best single size box right now that I would typically like for these. But the general rule of thumb, in my opinion, when you're shipping a hat, you want to keep it shape. You don't want to be crushing the hat and like stuffing it into a small box. So you want to have a box that's big enough to keep its shape, but not too big that it is moving all around a bunch. So if you get it nice and snug but not smushed, you're good to go. So what I have right here, so these are, let me see here. So I've got 8x6x4, and I've got 2 of them. So I'm basically just Frankenboxing these 2 together. It's very, very simple when the box is that small. You put one together, stuff it in there, put the other one over it, push it down. It gives you just enough room to close it up, and you've got perfect amount of room there. So that is how I'm shipping this one. Right, I think that's it for what I've got to sell. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these things packed up. And I think we'll go head up to the computer real quick, and we will look at the overall chest sales again, because it's been a little bit since I've done that. I've sold a lot of magazines here recently, so we'll go ahead and check that out again. So I'll see you guys soon. Hey guys, so back at the computer here, just a talking head. So like I said, we were going to look at some of the chest sales here. Again, if you're new here, or it was back in late November, I think, late November, early December, probably late November, where I went to Closing Chess Club in Dayton, and eventually, spoiler alert, bought everything that they had left. So it's just coming back here to look at some of these sales again. And again, the December through January was the big selling period. Sold a lot there. And just looking back here at March through April, so the past month, got 188 in net sales so far from chess books that are sitting there too. So not too bad. It's kind of picking up a little bit here as I put some of those on sale. So we've got overall profit on this buy is $2,210.22 at the moment. So what I had been meaning to do was look and see how many of my active listings were actually chess related. So right now I've got 377 active listings. And if you're not familiar with, kind of looking through some of this stuff here, if you're an eBay seller, typically what I'll do is I'll just come into my eBay and go to selling and listings. So then under listings, it'll tell you, you've got your active listings. So I've got 377 listed right now. Quantity is a bit higher because a lot of those chess books, I've got multiples. Like 6 and 14s and 7s and all those types of things there. What I wanted to see was how many of my listings were actually chess related. And that's actually a pretty nice quantity there if people actually buy everything. But anyway, so all you really have to do here, this item title contains, you can just type in, this is the easiest way, at least for chess books. You just type in what it is, search, and it will spin. And now we can see I've got 100. So I've got 100 listings here. So 100 of my 377 are chess book related, with 1,900 or so listed. If everything was to sell for the current price. So that's interesting. I just wanted to see how much I had out there. So hopefully that number will continue to dwindle. At some point, just depending on how long a lot of these books last, at some point I'll probably think about going ahead and lotting these books together, putting them in a wholesale lot, throwing them out as an auction. I did that with a lot of the books earlier. This did really well, and it obviously moves a lot faster. So I might end up doing that depending on how long these sit. But so anyway, there were a couple other quick little sales that I don't think that I showed. So from that estate sale, like I said, I picked this Zax telescopic fishing rod up. I did not know it was a telescopic fishing rod. I don't even know what a telescopic fishing rod is. I know what a fishing rod is. I don't really know what the telescopic thing is. But so I paid $5 for it. It did have a couple other some lures and whatnot. Nice little case as well. So that sold for $28. It sold pretty quickly as well. I picked up. I think I picked up like 4 Zippos in one of the boxes that they had there. None of them were great, but they were all super cheap. And this Bengals lighter, this Bengals one sold for 11. Again, this one sold pretty quickly. And going back, I don't remember if I talked about this one selling or not, but I had bought that record player at a sale. I think it was $5 for the record player. I think, yeah, pretty sure it was 5 or 10 for the record player. And this is the cartridge that was used on that record player for the needle. And this was the cartridge stylus on that record player. So I always check for the stylus when I buy a record player or see a record player, because the styluses can often bring a fair amount of money here. So just little super easy to ship guy that sold for $100. So again, if you're out and you see those record players, definitely take a look. Take a look at the stylus. Look those up, and you can do pretty well with some of those. And then here, I just wanted to share this one real quick as well. So I bought, I think, 4 of these through the Bible with Vernon McGee. I've been buying lots of Bible stuff this past year. Seems to do relatively well. I hadn't seen this one before, but this was new, and this sold for $35. So I've got volumes 3 and 5 as well. Or no, I have volumes 2 and 3 as well that are new, and then I've got volume 1 that is not new. So be curious to see if all of these will sell for that amount. But yeah, Bible stuff it's been huge, and maybe it's always been. I've just never really looked into it until this past year, but I'm always looking for it now. That is for sure. All right, guys, I think that is it for today's video. I really appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, stay curious.